Good morning. We are here for 14.3 video notes. Our first slide, make sure that you have the video notes paper from the supply shelf so you can take notes. We are going to spend just 1 or 2 minutes here at the beginning reviewing what a dot plot is. We talked about this on the first day of the module altogether, but I'm going to include it in here, okay? A dot plot. A dot plot is a visual display where each data point is a dot above a line. Okay, so the dot plot is, and we're going to quickly dot plot these values over here, these ones here, and we're going to create a dot plot. Okay, you can just use your regular pen, but I'm going to use green. Okay, so our first piece of data is 2, so I'm going to plot a dot above. Each point is a dot above the line, so 2 is going to go right above the line where 2 is, and then I'm going to cross out that 2 so I know that I've plotted that. The next one is 4. Cross that out. The next one is 5. I'm going to put one right above 5. Each of these data points gets their own dot. Okay, so the next one is 7. And then 3. There's another 4. So our 4, because there's another 4, we're going to put a second dot above the first dot on 4. That way we know that 4 has been measured twice. Okay, and then we have another 2, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the 2 above the other dot. We have a 7, another 7, 9. Oh, and then another 2. So we're going to put that third dot above 2. 10, 5, and 3. Okay, so your dot plot should look like this. Okay, so each piece of data gets one dot, okay, on a number line like this. Okay, so what if, let's go to the next slide here. What if the scale of the measurements is too large to make a simple dot plot? So if we look here, our lowest number in this data set is 7. But our highest number in this data set, I believe, is 27. Okay, so we have to go from 7 to 27. Also, some of these numbers occur, more than once. So I'm not going to sit here and make a number line that goes from 7 down here to 27 here. There is an easier, simpler way to create a plot to include all the data that doesn't involve having to put every single dot. Because sometimes we have a data collection that has so many dots where we would have to put so many dots and it would take so long. But there's actually an easier way to do this. Okay, so we need to talk about a frequency table because we're going to create a frequency table and then a histogram with our data. This is the same data set as the slide before. So all this, oh wait, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use this data set right here. We're going to use this data set. We're going to come up with a frequency table. Now, a frequency table is what we're going to do instead of having a number line, which each dot has a specific number and it goes 1 or 2 up every single line. We are going to come up with set intervals and then count the number of times we have data in that interval. So what we're going to do is we have our smallest number, right, is 7. So our first interval is going to start at 7. Okay. And then because it's an interval, it's going to go from 7 to, well, let's think about this. We have our highest number is 27. So we want our highest number to end at 27. And let's do, because we have, we're going to put 27 actually in this one right here. I'll explain why in a second. Our intervals have to be the same distance from each other. So whatever we decide on how many are in each interval, then we have to keep that all the way up. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intervals. And our numbers range from 7 to 27. So that means we have, right, from 7 to 27, that's 20 numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I'm going to take 20, and we're going to divide it by 5, because that's how many intervals we have. Well, 20 divided by 5 is just 4. So we're going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 7 through 11 is our first interval. And then 12 to 16, right? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then our next interval is going to be 17 to 21. Because 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's 4. And then 22 to 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh, look at that. You know what? Wait. Did I count wrong? I might have counted wrong. Well, you know what? We're just going to go with it. This one is 27. We're going to put 27 right here. You guys, it's early. We're Okay, we're just going to go with it. These are our intervals. That last one is just one bigger, but we're going to leave it for now. So we have our intervals, and what we're going to do is we're going to count how many numbers are between 7 and 11. Okay, and as I count them, I'm going to cross them out. Okay, my data set. So we have 1, 7 is in there. 2, 3, and 11 and 7 are included, so we're going to include those. So we have 3, 4, 5, and 6. We should have 6, right? 6. And then let's do our next interval, 12 to 16. So 12 and 16 are included. Anything that's 12 up to 16. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in that one too. Let's do 17 to 21. And if I'm going too fast, you feel free to pause. I just don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to go kind of quick. So 17 to 21. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we do 22 to 27, which we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now we have our frequency. This is how many times it happens in that interval. So now that we have our data set, I don't even define what a frequency table is, you guys. Let's write it down. A frequency table, I gotta find it here really quick. A frequency table is a table that lists items together according to the number of times they occur. So just like how I showed, right? It's a table that lists items together according to the number of times they occur, which it does. The frequency, we keep track of the frequency, is how many times in these intervals that these items occur. Okay, now let's move on. We are going to take our frequency table information and we are going to build something called a histogram. A histogram is a type of table here. I gotta find the definition. Very specific definition. All right, I'll find it later. Okay. So a histogram is a visual table that shows information from a frequency table. Okay, so this is a visual representation of frequency table information. Okay, so we're going to take our information that we had before, so this information right here, and we are going to build a histogram. So along the bottom, our histogram are going to be our intervals. Our intervals are going to go down here at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign a certain area for each interval. So I'm going to go 2 by 2. So 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, like that. And each of these areas is going to be an interval. Our first interval is 7 to 11. So I'm going to label it 7 to 11. And then our next one is 12 to 16. All right, and then our next interval is going to be 17 to 21. And then 22 to 27. Okay, so we have our 4 intervals, and then along the side is going to be our frequency. So our frequency, and I apologize for my poor handwriting. Sometimes it's hard to write on this iPad. Okay, so our frequency is going to go along the top. Now our frequency, if we look at our frequency table at our other slide, our frequency goes up to 6. So it's 6 and 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign each of our, we're going to go 2 by 2 again. So we got a line here, 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 here. So all I'm doing is I'm marking from the bottom. I'm going to go 2 boxes, make a mark, 2 boxes, make a mark. And each of those lines, now we're not going to label in between the lines, we're going to label the lines themselves. And I'm going to label the lines by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that way my frequency 4 and 6 are included, right? Our scale for our frequency and our intervals has to be just the right size where we can fit all of our information in. So for the frequency, let's look at our frequency table one more time. And our frequency table shows that from 7 to 11, there are 6 measurements. Okay, 6 times it occurs between 7 and 11. So I'm going to go from 6 up here because 6, and I'm going to draw a red line all the way across the length of the interval of 7 to 11, right? Remember our 7 to 11 interval down here goes 2 boxes. And then I'm going to color in, I'm going to draw a line all the way down like this to that interval. So I'm like making a box or like a bar all along that interval up to 6. And then I'm going to color it in. Okay. You may do this with a colored pencil, or you can just do it with your pencil if you want. I'm doing different colors on the screen just so you can see where I'm writing here. Okay, so that is that first interval. Now let's look at our second one. From 12 to 16, it is 6 again. So I'm going to use a different color just so you can see. Once again, you do not have to use a different color if you don't want to. But I'm going to do the same thing at 6 because it happened 6 times, all the way across that interval from 12 to 16. And I'm going to box it off just like that. And then I'm going to color it in. You may color it in or leave it if you want, but I like coloring it in so it's easier to see. Okay, and then our frequency of 7 to 11, or 17 to 21, sorry, 17 to 21 is 4. Okay, so let's do 4 now. So 4, we're going to find 4, which is right along here. That. And then I'm going to shade this in. And then we have one more. From 22 to 27, we have 4. Okay. So once again, I'm going to go from 4 over to here. And I am going to color it in just like that. And that is our histogram, just like that.